They chose her over me, and I still don't know why. My name is Olivia Carter, and the night everything broke, it was raining. Not the soft kind, the kind that hits the windows like it's angry. I stood in my parents' living room, hands shaking, heart racing, because what they said next, I wasn't ready for it. Olivia, my mom sighed, not even looking at me. We've made our decision. Decision? About what? I swallowed hard. About the house. I asked. Silence. Heavy. Cold. Final. My dad finally spoke. We're giving it to your sister. Just like that. Everything gone. The house I helped pay for. The renovations I stayed up nights planning. The place I thought was mine. And they handed it to her. My younger sister, Chloe. Why? Because she cried louder? Because she always played the victim? Or was there something I didn't know? I laughed. Yeah, I actually laughed. You're joking, right? But no one laughed back. Chloe sat on the couch, pretending to wipe tears. Her eyes cold, almost satisfied. I need it more than you, she whispered. Soft, weak, calculated. That's when something inside me cracked. Need it? I snapped. I built this life. Where were you? She looked down. Perfect performance. My mom stepped in quickly. Olivia, don't make this harder. Harder? I felt my chest tighten. You already made it impossible. And then my dad said something I'll never forget. You've always been strong, Olivia. You'll figure it out. Strong. That word again. The excuse they always used to give me less and give her everything. I grabbed my bag. Didn't cry. Not there. Not in front of them. But as soon as I stepped outside, I broke. Completely. The rain soaked through my clothes. But I didn't move. Because one question kept echoing in my head. Why? Why would they do this to me? And more importantly, what was Chloe hiding? The next morning felt unreal, like I had woken up in someone else's life. I was sitting in my tiny apartment, boxes everywhere, because, I had already started packing. Something didn't feel right, and I couldn't ignore it. Not this time. That's when my best friend, Megan, called. You sound off, she said instantly. I hesitated. Then everything poured out. The house, the decision, Chloe, silence on the other end. Then, that doesn't make sense, Megan said slowly. Exactly. I know, I whispered. Your parents wouldn't just do that, not without a reason. Reason. That word hit differently, because deep down, I felt it too. Something was off. Something hidden. Megan, I said quietly, what if I'm missing something? She didn't even pause. Then find it. Simple, direct, terrifying, but also exactly what I needed. So I went back, not to fight, not yet, to look, to observe, to understand. The house felt different, like it didn't belong to me anymore. Chloe was in the kitchen, scrolling on her phone. Calm, relaxed, too relaxed. You're back, she said, barely looking up, just grabbing a few things. I replied. She nodded, didn't question it. Strange, too easy. That's when I noticed it. Her laptop, open, unlocked, right there on the table. And something on the screen caught my eye. A bank notification. I froze. Should I look? No. Yes. I stepped closer, heart pounding. And then I saw the number. $48,700. Transferred. Recently. But that wasn't the shocking part. The name was, because the sender was my dad. My breath stopped. What? Why would he send her that much money? And then I noticed something else. A folder. titled Property Documents. My hands started shaking. No, no way. I clicked it. Inside were files, contracts, agreements, and one document stood out, a signed paper, dated 2 weeks ago. My eyes scanned the page, and that's when my world completely shattered, because the house was never supposed to go to Chloe. It was legally mine, signed, approved, finalized. So how did she get it? And why would my parents lie? Unless they didn't. Unless someone changed everything. My heart started racing faster, because suddenly this wasn't just betrayal. This was something bigger, something planned, something illegal. And just as I reached for the next file, I heard Chloe's voice behind me. Cold, sharp, dangerous. What do you think you're doing, Olivia? I slowly turned around, and the look in her eyes, it wasn't guilt, it was fear. Her voice was calm, too calm, but her eyes betrayed everything. Fear, real fear. And in that moment, I knew I was right. This wasn't just favoritism. This was something darker, something planned. I closed the laptop slowly, just grabbing my things. I said, she didn't move, didn't blink. You shouldn't snoop around, Chloe added, her tone tightening. Snoop? I almost smiled, because now I wasn't guessing anymore. I was hunting. That night, I couldn't sleep. The number, the document, the lie, it kept replaying, over and over. So I did something I had never done before. I started digging, really digging. First stop, the county records office website. Every property transfer is logged there. Public record, unchangeable, or at least it should be. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. Then I typed in the address, clicked search, and waited. The loading circle spun. 1 second, 2 seconds. Then, there it was. The truth. The house was registered under my name. Still, not Chloe's. My chest tightened. So, how was she claiming it? Unless there was a second set of documents. Fake ones. I leaned back, thinking, breathing fast. Then it hit me. The folder. Property documents. Those files weren't just random. They were her version of the story. And if she had those, what else was she hiding? The next morning, I called Megan. I think she forged documents. I said, silence. Then, Olivia, that's a crime. I know. You need proof. Proof. That word again. This wasn't about feelings anymore. This was war. And I needed evidence. Step by step, I built my case. First, I checked my email. Every message from the lawyer. Every attachment. Every signature. Then I compared them, line by line, detail by detail. And that's when I saw it. A tiny difference, almost invisible. On the real document, my signature was smooth, natural. On Chloe's version, it was slightly off, stiff, copied. My stomach dropped. She didn't just lie. She forged my name. But I needed more. Something undeniable. Something that would destroy her story. So I went deeper. Bank statements, transactions, patterns. And there it was again. The $48,700. But this time, I traced it. It wasn't just from my dad. It went through 3 different accounts first. Layered, hidden, like someone trying to cover tracks. Why? Why would Chloe need that money? Unless she paid someone who could alter documents. My heart started racing again, because now this wasn't just about the house. This was fraud, and I was about to expose it. I made one call. A lawyer, Daniel Reeves. Sharp, precise, no nonsense. He listened quietly as I explained everything. Then he said, "One sentence. If what you're saying is true, she's in serious trouble." Good, because I was done being quiet. 2 days later, we all sat in the same room again. My parents, Chloe, me, but this time, I wasn't the broken one. I was ready. Chloe crossed her arms. "What is this about?" she snapped. I looked at her, really looked at her. "No more lies," I said calmly. My dad frowned. "Olivia, what are you doing?" I slid the documents across the table. Real ones, then the fake ones, side by side. Silence filled the room. Heavy, uncomfortable. "What is this?" my mom whispered. I didn't answer. Daniel did. "These," he said, tapping the papers, "are forged signatures and financial manipulation." Chloe's face went pale. "That's not true," she shot up, but her voice cracked. I leaned forward, then explained the money. Silence. I pushed harder. The transfers, the fake documents, the lies. She looked at my parents, desperate, cornered, and then she broke. "I needed it," she screamed. The room froze. I was drowning in debt. You wouldn't understand. There it was. The truth. Ugly. Raw. Real. My mom covered her mouth. My dad just stared. "You stole from me," I said quietly. She shook her head, crying now. I had no choice. No choice? I stood up. "You had a choice. You chose to betray me." The aftermath was brutal. Legal action started immediately. The house returned to me, officially, permanently. Chloe charged with fraud. And my parents, they couldn't even look at me. Not after realizing what they supported, what they almost lost. A week later, I stood in front of the house, gansen my honked. But something had changed. I didn't feel the same attachment. Not anymore. Because this place was never the real victory. So I did something unexpected. Something they never saw coming. I sold it. Every inch. Every memory. Gone. And with that money, I bought something they could never take. Peace. Freedom. A new beginning. Last time I saw Chloe, she looked smaller. Broken. Not like the confident manipulator I knew. She whispered, "I never thought you'd fight back." I looked her straight in the eyes. Calm. Unshaken. "That was your biggest mistake. Because they chose her. Over me. But in the end, ich chose myself. And that changed everything.